Good evening, dear guests, Gaveliers, and respected Toastmasters. Welcome to the online meeting of Eloquent Elite's Gavel Club. I am Gavelier Shri Joshi, and I'm pleased and proud to be your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Every Gavel Club is affiliated to Toastmasters International and provides Toastmasters experience to those who are under 18. I am very happy to present the mission of Toastmasters. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Please adhere to the following housekeeping rules so that all of us have a seamless online meeting experience. All role players, Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and guests, please rename yourselves as per the naming convention I will be sending in chat. This will help the Zoom masters spotlight you appropriately. Please take 10 seconds for that. 10 seconds.
Right.
Please put all noise-making devices on silent mode. Please take 5 seconds to do so. Please keep your audio on mute throughout the meeting and unmute your microphone only whenever you are invited to speak. Please keep your video cameras on. Speakers feel comfortable when they see live faces rather than a blank screen. Please avoid unnecessary movement when your video is on. Please turn off the video only in case you have to move or step away. Please do not type in the general Zoom chat box when a speaker is speaking, as it distracts the speaker. Please give direct feedback to the speaker via Zoom chat after the speech is over. Please share screen after informing that you are sharing, with the permission of the chair. Please show high five or namaste or applause when a speaker joins or leaves. If you're a speaker, then please ensure you pin the timer or confirm that the timer screen is visible for you. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Please stay back to network after the meeting. It's my proud privilege to introduce the presiding officer of the day, Aditya Verlikar. Gavelier Aditya is not just the president of our Gavel Club, but the one who mooted the idea for this club and mobilized it with the guidance and support of his parents. He is an RN Pudar school student and built a PC from scratch on his own during the lockdown. He's a Taekwondo black belt and district and state level swimming champion. We are glad that this multifaceted youth is our leader. Over to you, Presiding Officer Gavelier Aditya Verlikar.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms Gavelier Shri Joshi. A very warm welcome to fellow Gaveliers, Toastmasters, and dear guests. Shall we pass the agenda first before we move on with the proceedings? And before that, of course, I call the meeting to order. Are there any corrections to the agenda?
No, the agenda is as it is. It can be passed.
Great. I request a Gavelier or Toastmaster to propose and second the motion to pass the agenda.
I, Gavelier Ved Brilliant, propose the motion to pass the agenda.
Could someone please second?
Someone quickly second the motion, please. I second the motion to pass the agenda. Name yourself and say, like he said it. Unmute and speak, please.
I second the motion to pass the agenda.
Thank you. Repeat your name, and say your name and say second the motion to pass the agenda.
I am Azim. I second the motion to pass the agenda.
Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you. The agenda is adopted. Welcome to the 15th meeting of Eloquent Elites Gavel Club and the third education session today. A very warm welcome to our resource person, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. The privilege of introducing goes to the Gavel Master of the Day, Azim Hakim. Yet, I cannot help saying this. In the pre-charter days of our club, we have experienced his guidance and quick wit. Let me introduce the Gavel Master of the Day now. Gavalier Azim Hakim is a 4th grade student in Bombay Scottish School, Mahim. He is the striker of the under-12 football team who are champions in the inter-school MSSA tournament. He has passed grade 1 in piano by Trinity College in London with distinction. He is also an FIDE rated chess player. He is an avid reader and writes stories and poems. He has keen interest in cricket and plays for the Parsi Cyclist Club of Mumbai. Putting hands together to welcome Gavel Master of the Day, Azim. Over to you, Gavalier of the Day.
Good evening and a warm welcome to all Gavaliers and Toastmasters, especially distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas, our resource person and mentor to our counselor Toastmaster Girija Deshpande. Thanks a million, Presiding Officer Aditya, for the warm introduction. Today's education session is on evaluation. Have you seen doctors who talk sweetly and slowly sink the needle into our arms? Today, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas will train us how to do that. Oh no, jokes apart. He will train us how the first step in evaluation is to sincerely appreciate the speaker, give a verbal hug, and make the speaker feel good. This takes us to today's theme, hugs instead of tugs. January 21st was declared International Day of Hugging in 1986. The idea of National Hug Day is to encourage everyone to hug family and friends more often. This idea was mooted by Kevin Zaboni in the United States and spread worldwide. Zaboni cautions to ask first before you hug someone if one is unsure of the response, as respecting the personal space of others is always important, and some people are not huggers. However, social emotional learning says people feel happy, relaxed, and content with the world when they receive a hug. With this contented mood, let us look at the structure of today's meeting. Now, we will have a much needed education session on Toastmasters Recipe to evaluate a speech and present an evaluation. This will be conducted by distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. This will be followed by an icebreaker speech by Gavalier Sara Avarlekar. Her speech will be evaluated by 3 Gavaliers. At the end, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas will give a specific feedback to all 3 evaluators. This will give us an idea about do's and don'ts of a speech evaluation. It is my proud privilege to introduce our resource person, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. With over 2 decades of telecom and IT experience in India and the Middle East, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas is a coach and creative thinker. He loves organizing programs for children and teens. A member of Toastmasters since 2019 and currently serving as VP Education at St. Paul Toastmasters Bahrain and as counselor of St. Paul Gavel. He is a leader who epitomizes the RISE values of Toastmasters: R for respect, I for integrity, S for service, and E for excellence. I invite our timer, Gavalier Kavya Singh, to announce the timing guidelines for the education session.
Yes. Good morning, guests, Toastmasters, and Gavinians. I am happy and proud to take up this role. A timer is the backbone of the meeting. Being a stickler for time is the hallmark of professionalism. Toastmasters has given us this excellent tool to keep any speech and meeting within time. I am Cavalier Kavya Singh and I am glad to be the timer today. My screen will be white timer virtual background as you can see. For the education session, I will show the green virtual screen at 15 minutes and keep it so until 18 minutes. I will show the yellow virtual screen at 18 minutes and continue until we reach 20 minutes. The virtual screen will turn red at 20 minutes and continue until the education session ends. After the education session gets over, we have the question and answer session for 10 minutes. At 6 minutes, I will show green. At 8 minutes, I will show yellow. And at 10 minutes, I will show red. Look forward to a great education session.
Thank you, Kavya Singh. We are eager to learn about evaluation. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas.
Thank you, Gavelier Azim. And greetings to all the Gaveliers, the Toastmasters guests present in this online platform. Right. I wish I can see all of you switching on your cameras. That'll be great. So I can talk to an audience. I think 80% or 90% of you have your camera switched off. I can't talk to an empty audience. And of course, we're going to talk about evaluating a speech, for which you need to see the speaker. And I need to see the audience. So I can see how is the feedback that I'm getting from each one of you. So if you don't mind, can you all switch on your cameras? Fantastic. Okay, great. So can I ask with the raise of hands, how many of you has ever done an evaluation so far, be it in your Gavel Club or anywhere? I can see Gabriel Aditya raising his hands. All right, so we got one person who has done. Anyone else? Okay. Just one person has done evaluation. So this is pretty new then to majorly all of you. Okay. How many of you know swimming? Again with the raise of hands. Okay, I can see 1, 2, 3 hands going up. 3, 4 hands, 5. Okay. Now, good. Thank you so much. Did you learn swimming by yourself? Or did you have a swimming instructor or a coach that helped you swim? So if anyone can put in the chat box, you can mention self-learning, or you did it by a coach, or you had a swimming instructor. Put that in the chat box. And while you do that, let me tell you what it is and importance for two aspects when it comes to gavels. One is as a speaker, and the second is as an evaluator. Okay. I don't see anyone sending anything in the chat box yet. So just to know how it is. Okay. I will share my screen right now. And I hope, let me just take this. Okay. All right. I hope you all can see the screen right now, and I'm still live speaking to all of you from this presentation mode. Some techniques in Zoom allows me to do that. Okay. So what we're going to have today, a session, is how to evaluate and present a speech evaluation. Okay. Of all the rules that I personally have taken in Toastmasters evaluation was close to the last role that I had taken. Probably people have been telling that it's very hard to evaluate and there is a procedure and a method to evaluate. But having done that several times, I can tell you that once you get into the groove of evaluation, you will love to evaluate. And there are certain advantages that for you as an evaluator, for the speaker who's going to hear your evaluation as well, what it is. So, Evaluate to Motivate is one of the series very important for anyone in the Gavels or in the Toastmasters Club. So, what is in it for you as a speaker? Now, if you want to improve as a speaker, you need to get feedback. You need to know how you need to improve. Just like if you've taken swimming classes, I can see someone has written coach, some have done it by themselves, some has a teacher, majority had a trainer or a coach. And why you need that is because you need to know the techniques, and some of you would like to learn swimming as quick as possible. Learning by yourself will take its time, but you need to know how you improve yourself as a better swimmer. What are the other ways? The backstroke, the butterfly stroke, and there are many other strokes that are there in swimming. How can you know that? When you have a coach, you have a trainer, that person will help you out in that. Now, as a speaker, what is in it for you that you want to know? As a speaker, how can I improve my speaking skills? What is in it as a speaker to grab the attention of the audience? You must have seen so many people out there. Are they born orators or are they grown to be better speakers? There's always that chicken and egg, we always say, but then I personally don't believe there's a born orator. Anyone can grow to be a better speaker. So each one of you who are attempting as a speaker for your particular modules, you want to become a better speaker. Secondly, all of you want to gain your confidence. Now, it could be in your school, in your college, in your university, in future when you get into jobs. What differentiates a person who remains at his own level and someone who goes up the corporate ladder? One, the speaking skills, a good communicator. And second is the confidence that he or she has. I might have a very good product, but if I'm not able to sell that product with confidence, I'm no different than a person who is in the back office. So, as a speaker, you would like to enhance your confidence as well. And third, but not the last, there are, of course, many other reasons. One is to build and maintain your self esteem as well. In this world where you have a lot of competition coming out, how many engineers, how many doctors, and name it, how many accounts, people in arts, there are so many people coming out there. Sometimes you feel a bit too low. But what can help you elevate that is when you get yourself to be a better orator, building up your confidence, enhancing your esteem. Yeah. So these is what's in for the speaker. When he is speaking, how can I improve myself? That's what a speaker always looks for. For an evaluator, what is in it for an evaluator? It's your listening skills. Honestly, for me, I look at the speech overall, but when I took the role of an evaluator, I realized that there's so much in a listening skill that a person can develop. And that's what we're going to practice today. And I want each one of you who are going to be the evaluators for today, listen very carefully on your speaker's speech today. Let's find out some elements that will differentiate what you are able to understand from the speech. And second, very important, analytical skills. I remember when one of the interview that I had attended, it had a series of 4 sessions. And one of the sessions was a debate session. Around 20 people in the room, they gave a topic You had to listen to others what they speak, and then you can be for the topic, against the topic. It's all up to you how you want to move. But it helped me analyze data, information, research, and give information to the audience. It's a lot to do with the analytical skills that you will enhance when you become an evaluator. Thirdly, the constructive feedback. It is not a negative or a criticism that you're giving to the speaker. Nobody would like to hear, I've done bad, you're not good, your speech is horrible, even though it was, or it might have been. But how do you communicate to give an opportunity to the speaker to grow? Is by giving constructive feedback. Yes, these are the points that you've done good. These are areas that you work upon and give them a momentum or an encouragement. So this is what is in for an evaluator. So far, so good. Hope everything is clear. Getting to know about the evaluator. I have not yet touched into the aspects of what the evaluator has to do and how what all tips can be given, but this is just a background to it. Okay, good. You can put in the chat box the answer to what I'm going to ask you. Now, in your opinion, what does this image tell you? Or what do you grab from this image? Just give me one point. That's it. Each one of you can just put in the chat box. What do you understand from this particular image? Okay, I'll give you 30 to 40 seconds. Go ahead, put in the chat box. There isn't anything that's wrong. Okay, so you do not have to worry about it. Just go ahead and type in the chat box. What do you understand? Or what do you grab? What do you see? What the standout for you in this particular image? And we have Gavel Sara saying it's a castle. I see Toastmaster Girja saying symmetry. Okay. Grandeur. Gavali Aditya is telling about the cranes in the background. Okay. Someone saying majestic, architectural, the uniqueness. Some look at the sky. I like that. Okay. Do we have any more uniqueness coming out from anyone putting in the chat box? Okay. You know what? The right answer is all of this. It's what you visualize. I might have seen maybe the crane, maybe the dome at the top, the symmetry. There's some glass. I do not know. There's a construction happening outside there. The entrance, how big, how wide it is, the uniqueness of this particular architecture, probably medieval age, tells me something ancient, ancient of days. It's what you visualize. And this is where your analytical skills are getting. I hope you're getting to think about a speech later on by this particular photo. Okay. Now, how do you evaluate speech? Now, typically, in a Gavel's Club or a Toastmasters meeting, you would get to know the evaluation criteria or the evaluation objectives before the meeting. That's one aspect of it. I will also talk to you about when it comes to contest, how it happens. For contest, obviously, you will not know what the speech is about. But having said that, let's take, for example, a typical Gavel's meeting, and you have a speaker. The objectives of the speech are given to you. You understand what those objectives are. That's very important. That is the base, the guideline for which you're going to evaluate that speech. So you need to get to know what are the speech objectives, and from that you will know what are the evaluation guidelines. Is it related to addressing the audience? Is it a vocal variety? And so forth. Get to know what are the objectives and the guidelines. And it would be great to understand from the speaker how he or she is expecting the audience to react. In some of the objectives, you might have the speaker asking a question to the audience and waiting for a response. If you didn't know that, you might be thinking it's a long pause. Why is he or she so silent? Or maybe it could be a speech where there could be interruptions happening in the speech. And you, as an evaluator, if not aware of that, you might not evaluate the speech with the right objectives. So it's good to communicate with the speaker, not about the speech or to get the entire speech from the speaker, no, but to understand his or her method and expectations of the speech that he or she is going to deliver. So this is something that you do before the speech. This is in case of Gavel's or Toastmasters meeting that we happen. When you go for contests, there is a standard guideline for evaluation contest. Okay, I'll tell you what those are. But in that sense, you do not know who is the speaker because it's normally a test speaker and he or she will give any speech and you will have to evaluate the speech. But the method of evaluation is the same. And that's what we're going to talk about in the subsequent slide. It is only whether you're doing it for the Gavel Club meeting or if you're doing it for the contest. The only difference is for the club meetings, get to know about the speech objectives and guidelines and speak to the speaker. Whereas in the contest, you go ahead straight to the methodology of evaluating a speech. Okay. Now, during the speech, when the speaker gets on stage and the time starts, show your interest. Don't go with a hard face. I'm looking at all of you over here. No one's smiling. I'm trying my level best to make this a good speech, a good session. But the moment you give me a smile, it's an acceptance of what I'm doing. If I don't, then I might have to change. Maybe someone is not listening, or maybe someone is dozing off. Did it ever happen? Give an interest by nodding your head. Acceptance of a situation is also very important. It gives an acknowledgement back to the speaker. But that does not mean that you have to overdo. It's important you have it appropriately done. Okay, so that's one during the speech. Second, which I say is the most important, listen from the start till the end. The variations of speech, the props he or she has used, any presentations that they would have used, the story behind, if any. Is there any highlights to it? Was there a powerful hook in the message? Was there an anchor story that he or she spoke about? It might be a journey of a lifetime. It could be the place that I had visited or the most memorable event. It could be something to laugh about. But end of the day, was there something of an anchoring story? Was there a foundational phase? How the transitions happened? Is there a central message? Gaviliers, I'm giving you tips. What you need to listen from the speech. Was there a central message for the audience to take away? So these are things in the speech that you need to listen and look for and take the notes. And when you're taking notes, what I always suggest you're not going to make paragraphs. Don't do that. You will not have time for it. A speech is 5 to 7 minutes. You cannot write the entire speech. And when you're giving an evaluation note, evaluation is not a speech about the speech. That's not what the audience want. The speaker need to know how to improve himself or herself. That's what you need to give. So it's just a snippet of what he or she said. So what you do, take a piece of paper and just divide it into two halves. And on one side, you just write positive, and on the other side, you just write it as negative. Positive, negative. Just put a column there, a line there to divide the two, positive, negative. What are those positive things that you loved about the speech? We're not talking about the speaker. Speaker was well dressed. He had a wonderful tie today. He wore a red shirt. He came with a white suit. He had a groomed hairstyle. No, that's not what I'm looking or what the speaker is looking for. You are not evaluating the speaker, you're evaluating the speech. So, in a positive, what you loved about the speech, as I mentioned, was there a powerful hook, an anchoring story, a foundational message, a takeaway message for the audience? Those are tips that you need to listen and also understand how that person delivered the message. Monotonous, vocal variety, stage usage, eye contact. In an online platform, you understand how it is. Of course, when you go to a physical environment on a stage, there are movements, places where you have focused way of highlighting your points in the speech. Okay? So stage usage, eye contact, gestures, movements, all these are part of the observation, and take notes. Last but not the least, put yourself in the position of the speaker. Okay? Meaning, what would be those areas that could help enhance that speech? What do you think? Now, as you saw the picture, some of you found the architecture, some saw the clouds, some saw the crane in the background. What do you think could help elevate that speech? That is something that you could put on the next column, the negative, or let's say the criticism that you can point out. But how we're going to say that, I'll tell you in the next few slides. Now, during your evaluation, you're evaluating the speech, not the person, as we mentioned. Focus on the delivery. And something that I haven't heard, meaning you're not talking about the speech, you're not going to tell the entire speech again. So it's very important. What do you need to do during evaluation? Obviously, you're all friends. It's not about hurting anyone because you want the speaker to improve and he become or she become a better orator. So no personal attacks, no criticism. So what you will say and how you will say, I'll say you in the next couple of slides. Now, during your evaluation, you're going to be an encouraging evaluator. Be appropriate to the points that you're mentioning. Okay, no personal attacks. And it's your personal opinion. It's not the opinion of others. Right? There are few things, especially when it comes to humorous evaluation others, there are certain things you might look at the audience to see their reactions to your speech. Did they find it humorous? That's a reaction. But typically, when you evaluate a speech, it's your personal opinion. There are two methods of evaluating a speech. One is a sandwich. Okay, so one layer of bun on the top, then you have, let's say, the fillings, then probably another layer of bread, and then fillings, and then the bread at the bottom. So you give your positive points, what you loved about the speech, followed by what they could improve on, followed by another positive point, then areas of improvements, and then you summarize, just like a sandwich method. Okay. The other method is pie method. So you see the top. Wow. It's the icing on the cake, it's the crust, it's wonderful. You give the praises. I loved your speech. It threw an atmosphere when and brought me to an era when I was in my young age. I love the fact that you mentioned the journey of your life through last years. It's a praise. The way you showed your gestures, your vocal variety was so appropriate that it made me feel as if I was engrossed into your speech. You praise, you give 2 points, 3 points of praise. And then that's where the center part comes in. And that's very tricky because once you open the layer of the pie, is it really cooked inside? That's the biggest part of the success, right? So there are some areas where you need to improve on. Okay, so we talked about observation and listening skills. That's where you will understand what are those areas of improvements. Was it the stage usage, the vocal variety, the gestures, probably a different way of probably doing that particular act or a scene or a prop that could have been used. And last but not the least, summarize it with an encouragement. I can see the timer has already given me a red, but let me just get to the last part of the presentation. It's not a lot that you need to tell to make an effective evaluation. Sometimes less is more. You're not going to tell the speaker 100 things that you want him or her to change. He or she is not going to remember that. In the next speech, I remember Gavel Aditya told me to have eye contact and to have vocal variety. I will try to do that in my next speech. Is just to focus on 2 or 3 areas that you need to improve on. So, what you need to do when you do this, write 3 areas, 3 to 4 areas that the speaker did well in his or her speech. That's enough. And just make it as pointers. No, don't make a lot of sentences. What you loved about the speech, just 3 or 4 points. That's more than enough. The next column, what are those 2 suggestions for improvement? Mention over there. So, how you would start the evaluation is what you loved about the speech. And typically, you have 2 to 3 minutes for evaluation, right? It's by practice. I would suggest do not get to the red virtual background. Now it's already flashing. It's on my eyes. I can see it's telling me to stop. Try not to get towards the red. Ideally, the first 1.5 minutes take for the praise. All right. What you loved. 3 to 4 points. And that does not mean to say, I loved your gestures. I loved your eye contacts. I loved your central message. No, you will finish that in less than 15 seconds. 1.5 minutes to tell what you loved about the speech. So it could be the journey, the way that you moved across the stage while you were telling us when you were grown, you're talking about yourself. For example, this is an icebreaker speech. You spoke about yourself, you were in one part of the screen, and suddenly when you went into your high school, you went to the other part of the screen. And then as you came to your journey of higher education, or you could say the job, you came to the center part. And that helped me to understand the movements and transitions of your speech. It was easy to say you had good usage of the stage, as simple as that. But that itself, I took another 20 seconds to 25 seconds by telling what part of the speech did he or she use that stage appropriately. I hope you get that idea. So that one point itself, I made it to 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Now, when it goes to the eye contact, I come very close and I pointed at the finger, and my audibility went a little bit low. And then suddenly I changed. While conversing with my dad, I looked in a manner that I was talking to my dad and my dad talking to me. So it's easy to say you had good eye contact, but if you had used these expressions and these supporting facts, another 15 to 20 seconds would be there for you. So in total, when you give 3 to 4 points, that is good, it will take an easy 1 to 1.5 minutes, okay, of your time. The next 1 minute, focus on the areas that the speaker need to improve. The 2 points. I would say if you get the time for three is three. Otherwise, no, don't give too much. But two is an average, a healthy one. That is great. So two areas which you like to improve. And again, here too, don't say that your vocal variety. Please work on your vocal variety. Your vocal variety was monotonous, just the same from the start to the end. No, that will finish off in just 5 seconds. So what you will say, Gaveliya Azim, in your speech, while you were conversing with your friend, you could change the vocal tone while you're communicating to her. For example, hi, how are you? Hey, Azim, how was the day? So I would like you to give an example for the speaker to realize that particular aspect of his or her speech where the slight change could have affected. Rather than saying, go for a vocal variety, show that particular area where he or she could have used it. Just as an example, so when you give 2 points of improvement, you get nearly 45 seconds to 1 minute to use that. And the last few seconds, 30 seconds or so, wrap it up. Wrap it up means it's the encouragement. That means summary. Summarize. So these are the 3 areas which I loved about your speech. If you work upon these 2 areas, I'm sure you will become a better speaker. And looking forward to a great orator in you. That you summarize and give it to the back to the Gabriel Master of the Day, or you give it back to the MC. Okay. So I hope this tips will help you. Do not forget your book, the pointers, listen, observe, write down the 3 points or 4 points of what you loved about the speech, 2 areas of improvements, and then summarize it. I hope this was effective, and I know I have overshot the time. I will now open the floor for any question and answers. Over to you, Gavel Master of the Day.
Azim, we can open the floor for questions. The floor is open for questions. So if anyone has any questions, you can please unmute yourself and talk.
Okay.
Any questions? Yes. Please unmute and ask questions. I've got Rotarian Hemel Raj, who has come as a guest. Henry Amalraj, welcome. How did you find this education session at the very first session? How
Yes,
to train?
madam. Yes, madam. I came a little bit late because I received the message only in the evening. So
Yes.
I am very happy by seeing this. This is the first experience for me also.
Right.
Okay, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe we had Gaveliya Aditya who was raising his hand. Yes,
Yes.
Aditya, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the session. I had one doubt. So, as you said that we are evaluating the speech and not the speaker. So, let's assume the speaker was dressed very casually and he or she was slouching during the speech. So, can I mention that in my evaluation?
Okay, so good question. Thank you, Gaveliya Aditya. Now, from a speaker, what we're expecting, and from end of the day, what we want the speaker to gain confidence, right? To become a better speaker and to enhance his or her self-esteem. So these are the main objectives, right? And you got an objective, which is about the speech. Would mentioning about his formals or informal way of coming into the audience or coming onto the stage, would that help in his or her speech? Would it enhance? That's my question. If it does, then yes, you can mention that. Right? So if he was talking about, for example, a business oriented speech, coming into a meeting, talking to an audience of entrepreneurs, and he wasn't well prepared in the sense that he himself was less casual, coming appropriately might have enhanced his speech, might have got the attention of the audience. If that's the case, yes, that is a point that you can say that if that was done in the way that you came in, I'm sure all the audience over here would have grabbed the attention of your speech as well. Okay, so that's important. It's not necessary the postures in which he comes in. I would have come in suit, I would have come in t-shirt. It's okay. But as long as you understand the audience, very important, and the purpose of that speech, if it does enhance it, go for it. But what you will look for in a speaker, if you want to evaluate, is the energy. The energy of the speaker. If you're talking about a motivational session, and I myself did not have that motivation in me or the drive in me, that energy will not radiate to you. So, apart from the speech, a good question, apart from the speech, in the speaker, it is the presence, the energy, the stage management, the character buildup of the speaker, of the speaker, which could help in the speech, can be a point of note or could be noted as an improvement. Okay, so that's something that you need to look at. Similarly, the vocal variety of the speaker. So that's something of the speaker that you can talk about. The other thing is when there is a speaker to audience interaction, then how did he manage that? Or how did she manage that interaction? Okay. Was it relevant topic? Was the audience participation there? Can I see the audience receptive to that speech? So that is areas, speech, speaker, speaker audience. But that you need to know the objective of the speech. Is that required or not? But majorly, a good portion is of the speech. So, again, just to answer you, yes, you can talk about the speaker's, the mannerisms, provided it will help him in her speech or his speech. Yes, I can see Henry. Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Mr. Thomas, what do you mean by vocal variety?
Okay. Now, if I'm talking at the same tone from the very beginning to the end, and let's say
Okay.
during that speech, I had instances or a drama. If
Okay.
I'm enacting certain areas of an incident or an event in my life, and if I'm giving a speech about what an incident is about, I would prefer to make a
Okay.
vocal variety there. The
Oh.
pitch, the high and the low pitch. If it's a monotonous pitch, probably the audience, you might not get the attention of the audience. That's why you see
Yes.
great speakers.
Mm.
It's not just the speech that makes an effect, but also the back end supporting mechanisms that help them. Why do they have some props? The props are visuals. It could be like I'm right now in the background, like I was doing the presentation. Is the visuals or it is the vocal that can sometimes enhance the result of the audience grabbing your speech? So if the speech is, for example, a screech, a mouse just ran in front of me, I could do that. Or Alex, a mouse just ran. It's just the same situation, but in a different manner. If we take it, it just enhances the speech quality and for the audience to keep talking and listening about it. So that's the vocal variety.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Beautifully explained. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we have the green card. Any more questions? I think we got another few more minutes.
Yes. Uh,
Either
but
everyone understood or
can I?
nobody understood. Yes,
Yeah.
Toastmaster Girija.
Yes. So generally, we say it is advisable. First, we begin with Toastmaster Shrishti. Your evaluation or your speech was indeed very eye-catching. And then probably we move on to the audience and we speak in third person. So we all heard Gavelier Shrishti presenting her icebreaker. And then we talk about whatever our impressions. So we take the audience with us when we talk in third person. That is one thing that I think is difficult actually. Whenever we speak, we tend to, even though we know that we need to include the audience and we want to use third person, the habit is like, you did this well, you did that well. So we have to keep that in mind. That is something that I have found it difficult to do. The second thing is also that in the end, summarizing is very important so that they capture what exactly the areas of improvement and what did you appreciate, so that you have reinforced what they have done correctly. They'll remember to maintain that, and then we have corrected what they need to work on. We have pointed out what they need to work on, so they'll remember that. That is one more thing that I found in my experience important. But then again, I tend to forget. So these two areas, because I make the mistakes, I thought I should share with the new learners that would help them.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Girija. Just to add, and absolutely right, summarizing is very important. Give time to summarize. Do not rush for it. So that's very important that you give the 30 seconds to 40 seconds in summarizing. So 1.5 minutes of what you loved about the speech, 1 minute of the areas of improvement, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, summarize them. Do not rush into summary. The second part which you mentioned is from an audience perspective. While evaluation is a personal opinion, just like the structure that you saw over there, relevance to the topic, relevance to the audience is also very important. Now, if the topic was on, for example, if I say unified communications in the 21st century, how many of you do know about unified communications? And if I talk about integrations and ERP systems that are being used for the healthcare industry, for some of you or majority of you, it would be Greek and Latin. Maybe one person in this audience might understand ERP concept, what is enterprise resource management. So in that sense, the relevance to the audience is, I'm sure we all in the audience definitely understood the takeaway message. A takeaway message for all of us, or this particular speech was relevant for all the audience present here, regardless whether we are in school, whether we are in offices, or we are parents. This speech was relevant to all of us. So, in that sense, you're on behalf of the audience as well. But end of the day, the major portion of the speech would be a personal opinion. I think we can take one. I think Gavelier Azim had raised his hand. No? Okay. I think we can see the red
Yes.
card coming up now. So it's time to wrap it up. And I thank you. Thank you to Toastmaster Girija for this opportunity. Thank you, Gaveliers, for giving me this moment to talk about evaluation. Very important. And I hope you all will use the method of evaluation. And there's one thing I will tell. the 3 Ps, which I tell to Gaveliers: practice, practice, practice. Do not shy away from taking up the role of an evaluation, however hard it may be. But having said that, practice. The more you give time to evaluate, the more roles you take for evaluations, you will yourself understand how close you can become a very good evaluator. And I hope to see great evaluators coming out from this Gavel's Club. Over to you, Gavel Master of the Day.
Unmute yourself, please. As if we couldn't hear you. Unmute and start from the beginning. Yeah.
Thanks for a wonderful education session, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. Let's now move on to the practice session. Studies have shown oxytocin and serotonin release in your brain during a hug, and it's no surprise that a good hug leaves us feeling happy. Today, Gavelier Sara Verlikum is going to introduce herself with an icebreaker, and she will receive warm hugs from 3 evaluators. I request timer Gavelier Kavya Singh to share the timing guidelines for the evaluators, for the speaker.
Thank you. Gavelier Sara Verlikar has 4 to 6 minutes to present her icebreaker. At 4 minutes, the screen will turn green. At 5 minutes, the screen will turn yellow. And at 6 minutes, the screen will turn red. After the speech, we have 3 evaluators. Each evaluator has 2 to 3 minutes to present the evaluation of the speech presented by Sara. At 2 minutes, the screen will turn green. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the screen will turn yellow. And at 3 minutes, the screen will turn red. When called upon, I will present the timing report.
Thank you, Kavya Singh. Now, I invite first evaluator, Gavelier Aditya Swarup Das, to share his speech objectives.
A very good evening, respected Toastmasters and fellow Gaveliers. The speaker will be giving a speech. The evaluation objectives are to begin speaking before an audience. Number 2, to introduce yourself. Number 3, to discover speaking skills you already have and the skills that need some attention. All the best to Gavelier Sara. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavelier Aditya, for the objectives of the speech that will be presented by Gavelier Sara Verlikar. Sara Verlikar is presenting her icebreaker, so I leave it to her to share the introduction. But I must share something important before I announce her speech title. Just 2 hours back, Sara returned home with silver trophy at the very first taekwondo match she participated in. Put your hands together to congratulate her. Along with the trophy, she also got another memorabilia, quite a significant leg injury. I congratulate her for enduring the pain and going ahead with this. Gavelier Sara, can you see the timer? Great. Sara Verlikar, my life is an open book. My life is an open book. Over to you, Sara.
Thank you, Gavel Master of the Day. Dear Gaveliers and Toastmasters, I am an open book. Which page you open decides which facet of my life you touch. Open the first few pages. You will see the baby bundled up in warm, soft warm clothes, blissfully enjoying the breeze in what is known as the Windy City, the Mud City, the Chi Town, city by the lake, and the heart of America. Did you guess the city? Yes. I was born in Chicago, in Illinois States, in the United States of America. On just 11 pages onwards, you will find awesome pics and experiences with my brother Aditya, just 4 years older. You can see sour sibling talks. You can see the petty quarrels and the big-hearted acceptance. The silent, cold-shouldered days and the days of warm support. From the cold, icy shores of Lake Michigan, as you can see, we have moved to the shores of Lake Powai in Mumbai. Interspersed in my book of my life are the imprints of my parents. My father, Sumit Verlekar, is a postgraduate in business studies, sales, in business studies from the University of Berkeley. Was a successful award-winning winning corporate leader in sales, marketing, and branding in various global brands before we moved to India in 2014. My mother, Sheetal Verlekar, had a rich corporate experience in human resource functions. Together, both of them have embarked on a journey of edupreneurship. They offer career global counseling today. My father encourages me to take up challenges. During our Dubai trip, we had gone to a water park. I, a teeny tiny 9-year-old, was absolutely paralyzed in the huge, gigantic 70 feet tall slide. My dad encouraged me to try it without putting me under pressure. It was a soft nudge. Soon I was atop 70 feet, laughing and screaming as I skid down in joy. My mother's name, if you remember, is Sheetal. She remains cool in any tricky situation. This is due to her never give up attitude. I would like to imbibe the same cool-headedness. Before participating in some competitions, I sometimes get jittery. My mom senses that inhibiting fear and calms me down. She brought clarity to me that this fear is the consequence of our thoughts on possible negative outcomes. She made me realize that the toddler who is afraid of falling would never walk. Just get up and give your best shot. The desired outcome will follow eventually. The current page of my book, I'll tell you. I am an 8th grader in the reputed Arampada school. My favorite subjects are geography and English. I have been fascinated by geography because it unravels the mysteries of the universe and takes me through different climates and cultures. I like English because I like reading, writing, and stories, and maybe because I'm naturally good at it. You always love being in your comfort zone, isn't it? Education part, I've come across unforgettable guides. Payal ma'am, my 4th grade social science and class teacher, is definitely one of the best teachers I've ever had. She's a warm, kind, and a loving person. She made geography interesting for me, and the curiosity she aroused has made me come out of the frog in the well syndrome and appreciate this huge, wide, diverse world. I am an extrovert. I can strike a conversation with anyone. I have a few close friends. My friend Prisha, a Gavalier in this group, is a close friend of mine. My other close friend, Amishi, share love for nature and sports. This like-mindedness has paved the way for long-lasting friendships. Currently, I'm figuring out what I want to do, but it will be something around sports or communication. I enjoy sports, singing, reading books, and creating new games. The Gavalier experience teaches me verbal communication, body language, discipline, speaking skills, listening skills, and patience. As days go on, I will learn and am more confident this experience will bring a game changer. One lesson I have learned is that doing what you love makes us joyful. I have brought you up to speed on my book. I am eager to know which part of my book interests you. Over to you, Gavel Master of the Day.
Wonderful introduction, Gavalier Sara. Timer Kavya Singh. Please, can you share the time taken by speaker Sara?
Speaker Sarah took 5 minutes and 28 seconds.
Now, in this education session, we learn by doing. We heard from distinguished Toastmaster how to evaluate a speech. Now, we have a practice session. 3 evaluators will evaluate Sarah's icebreaker and will receive a feedback from our resource person about what went right and what could be improved upon. Now, I request Kavya Singh to present the timing guideline for the evaluators.
The speech evaluators get 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, the white screen will turn green. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, the green screen will turn yellow. And at 3 minutes, the yellow background will turn red. When called upon, I will present the timetable.
Thank you, Kavya. I invite Gavalier Aditya Swarup Das to present his evaluation.
Thank you so much, Gavalier Azim. Well, Gavalier Sarah, welcome. What an energetic start. You started off by telling that you were born in the city of Chicago in America and telling about your family, and we got to know you very well through that. Your hand gestures throughout the speech were amazing. But as also where this is your first speech, and for this hand gestures are very important, and they're and this makes the audience interested. Well, your voice tones were also very nice when you were explaining the experience during your water park. When you had went to the water park with your family, you were you were using the voice tones very appropriately, and I was very well excited, and I was imagining my time with my family in the water park too. Well, recommendations is very important. Number one, I would like to say is audience reaction. Well, as you were giving the speech, I couldn't see much of an reaction and much of a feedback or a reaction from the audience, as if they were not. And you could have made your speech more interesting. Like, let's say you could have started off with more energy, and maybe you could have begin with more points about yourself, and so that the audience would be more engrossed in your speech. Well, back to the good points. You used a very catchy title of your speech, Life of an Open Book. That is a very nice title for your first icebreaker speech. And lastly, by the I could tell that you were very well prepared with the speech, as you were sounding very confident, and you were not also fumbling during the speech. Your voice was audible, and you were very visibly clear. And you introduced yourself to the audience, and you improved your skills and your the skills which you had already. So you have already completed all the objectives in the speech. Lastly, I would like to summarize everything up. You had very nice hand gestures, a strong voice tone, a very catchy title that is very important, and the only thing which can be improved is the audience reaction, so that the audience will be more interested in your speech. That is all from my side. Thank you so much. Over to the giver of the day.
Thank you, Gavalier Aditya. I invite Gavalier Mohammad Bubashir to present his evaluation. Mohammad Mubashir, please.
I think he's not there. I didn't see him.
Okay, so I'll continue.
So we can start with Shrishti. You can invite Shrishti over. And if he joins again, we can take it. Yes.
I invite Gavalier Shrishti Kohli to present her evaluation.
Hi everyone. Hope all of you are doing great. And I think we had a very lovely audience in the first place. Uh, also, Sarah, great title of the speech. I really liked it when you say my life is an open book. I could relate it to, every day when you start, how your life begins in the morning and how does it go till the day, like till the night, and how what happens overall. I think it was pretty relatable. And also I loved your expressions, like they were way to go. And I could relate like a lot of stuff when you said that you went to Dubai, your parents' experiences, like how they have worked overall. Now, I think one place where I felt you could improve is that when you so I wasn't actually able to understand like if you were reading or something, because I felt like you were constantly focused on the screen. So I felt like you were reading it. So maybe instead of like reading, you could like, even if you're reading, you could always have like a pinch of eye contact. So it wouldn't seem that you're reading it. Overall, I love the speech and I really love the effort you've put in. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavelier Srishti. Gavelier Kavya, can you please share the time taken by the evaluators?
Speech evaluator Aditya took 2 minutes 30 seconds. Speech evaluator Srishti took 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Thank you, Gavelier Kavya. I request distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas to give his valuable feedback to all three evaluators.
Thank you, Gavelia Azim. Can I have Gavelia Aditya and Gavelia Srishti on screen as well? Because I can see it's spotlighted. And the speaker, and you'd like to have the speaker as well on the screen, like to talk to them. And of course, when I'm giving the feedback to the evaluators here, I would like all the audience to also understand that. Okay, it's not just for the two of them, it's for everyone. I'm sure one thing that each one of you have done today was on that same image. The focus was different. You would have seen what Gavilia Aditya found in Gavilia Sara's speech was different from what Gavilia Srishti was looking in her speech. The observations were entirely different. And I'm sure all the 14 of us over here had different points, different visualizations of that speech. Coming to Gavilia Aditya, first I'm looking at the timing, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Good. Okay. The only thing I've noticed that your summary started at 2 minutes. You had some more time. That some more time, where was the lapse was you had one point of improvement, which was the audience. Okay, fine. It's not a mandate that you need to have two. That's okay. But then taking some time on the positive side of it. It's okay. Or you need to just, I'll give you an idea of what you could do for the audience reaction. How you could take a little bit more time so you will get to that close to 3 minutes. Okay. Now use your focus area of Gavelier Sara's speech was the hand gestures, the voice tones that she had. And I love the fact that you gave a personal touch. How it affected you in the sense that the water park, you had some background to it. It would be nice if you could just enhance it on it. Right? I remember the time when I was in Chennai and that 70 feet that you spoke about, I was also feeling as if I was standing at that 70 feet. That expression of yours made me feel that particular moment of my life. Thank you, Gabriel Sara, for taking me back to that 2013. For example, I'm just saying the year, taking me back 10 years ago to that specific spot. Wonderful. There's a different way of saying that. Okay. You could take that there. Points, I like the way that I think you used the sandwiched method. Correct? Good. So you had the positive, then the areas of improvement, you went back again to the personal touch, and then you summarized it. Okay. A bit of a small sandwich, little bit of a sandwich. Okay. That's fine. So I love the fact that you brought in those 3 points where you loved, try to enhance it. Now, coming to the area of improvement, audience reaction. For Sarah, Gabrielle Sarah, in her icebreaker speech, how she's talking about herself, her parents. So she did well about telling about her dad, about her mom, about her brother, of course, here, and the journey. What you would expect from an audience response to an icebreaker speech. So, how will she try to realize? How can you help her? That's where I want you to do it. You mentioned about the energy and to add some points. What you could do is you could ask, say, Sarah, in order to have an audience reaction. For example, if that is your point, Sarah, you can throw a question to the audience. How many of you have gone to a 70 feet height scenario? You could ask Sarah to ask that question to the audience. She does not need, by the way, she does not need to wait for an answer. Someone might raise their hand, someone may not raise their hand. That is okay. She would just come and say, oh, I see a lot of hands raised. So try to see and help her how she can get an audience reaction. That can, as a speaker, she will do it next time. And as an evaluator, you give her the tip with an example of what she can do. That's the way I look. Otherwise, round of applause to Gavalier Aditya. I think to the dot, you learned that sandwich method. Try the pie method next time. See whether the sandwich or the pie is good for you. You can enhance it in the way you like it and let it be Gavalier Aditya's evaluation style. Okay, you do it, enhance it. Okay, well done. Coming to Gavalier Srishti, time. Again, I'll speak from the time perspective because utilize your time the most. When given to you an opportunity, take it to the maximum. So you had taken around less than 1.5 minutes. You could do more. Now, what I noticed, your focal area was the title. Good, a different way of thinking. Right? You spoke about that. My life is an open book. Right? Then you went to the area of improvement, which is reading from the screen. Okay. Now, I would love you to have another two more points which you loved about the speech. Now, you gave about the topic. Gavali Sarah wants to know how she can enhance her speech. Now, her topic is great. Next time, she will give a good topic, a great topic. But what is in that speech that she needs to enhance? Or what is in that speech that you loved first? Right? So that's what I want you to put in. Topic is good. You can always do that because I also do that in some of the evaluations, that your topic was intriguing, it was suspense. Maybe the topic took me by surprise when I heard your speech. The topic is good. Get into the speech where she told about her interesting subjects, geography. And by the way, Kevali Srishi, did she mention about you in the speech? Was it you or someone else, one of her friends? I don't recollect the name of the person. Gavali Sara, you mentioned.
I
Prishti.
mentioned two of
Prisha and
my
Amishi.
closest friends, Prisha and Amishi.
Okay, fine. I was trying to see the name of the person. Okay, my bad. So you can speak about the geography. Did that connect at all with you? I don't know. Geography, did it connect with you? Does sport connect with you? Singing connect with you? Games connect with you? Maybe it's not your type. It's okay. But you say that it doesn't relate at all to me. But after hearing your icebreaker speech, I thought, let me give it a try next time. Not the 70 meter, but maybe at 15 meter. I can't take it. I'm not a sporty person. It does not mean that you have to always agree to what it is. Because all of us are different. But what I want you to take it is two, three more points of what you loved about the speech. Was there energy? Was there vocal variety? She was probably in, if I was there, one, as a speaker, I would always recommend that you remove the virtual background. Because if I see my hand, you see how it goes. There's going to be blurring always. And sitting over here, you will only see my palm. You're not going to see my hand. You're not going to see my gestures fully. Probably if you switch off the virtual background and stand and give your speech, I am sure the actions or the gestures would create a better effect. I would probably give that one of my evaluations, which I noted down. Second, you're quite focused onto your center stage. Would it be that you could use the stage a little bit more, coming back, coming front would also help, and pauses. So now reading from screen was one thing. Now, how can you help her? You gave 1 point of improvement that she was reading from screen. Yes or no, that's all fine. But what you could tell her is that a little bit more preparation, because you're talking about yourself. You're talking about your father, your mother, your brother, your life. Probably it is not required to have a reading material because you're talking about yourself. A little bit of a preparation over there will help you to talk confidently by yourself in the next speech. Try out by giving some time in preparation, practicing it, reading it, going in front of the mirror and speaking about it will reduce you from reading on the screen. So a little bit more. While you're saying that point, you could. So what happens? The 1 minute 21 will somehow become 2 minute 15 seconds easily. So give 2 to 3 points. And the areas of enhancement, just give the idea why, how you can do it as well. So the next time when Gavel Sara gets on stage, yes, I remember Gavel Srishti told me to prepare, practice. It's my life. It's my open book. I can talk about it. Give her the confidence. She will do it next time. She will try doing it. Okay. That's what she will look at. Okay. So Gavel Srishti, I hope you got that idea. Just give some more areas, 2 to 3 more points for him for what you loved. The area of improvement, when it was 1, it's fine, but just enhance and say why and how it can be done so that she will take away that point when she uses in the next speech and then summarize it. Okay. Fantastic. Well done, Gavel Srishti. Again, practice. It's all about practicing this. Okay. It don't feel hard, but utilize these tips in the next evaluation. Okay. Thank you. And thank you, Gavel Sara, for your speech as well and helping us to understand your story, your life as an open book. I think there's a quote, and I would love you to use quote if possible. It's not necessary in an icebreaker, but a writer only begins a book, a reader finishes it. So you're all the readers of your journey of life. You opened up the book, you have written down pages, yet many more pages to fill. I am looking forward to reading that book. Over to you, Gavin Masterwood.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. I will sum up the theme of the day with these words. Hugs can have health benefits, including reducing fear, stress, and pain. They may also support immune and cardiovascular health. In a world where we are far flung but connected by technology and social media, words can be hugs. We can be sensitive, sensible, and sweet, compassionate, kind, and inclusive. Words will be the new hugs in the future. Over to our counselor, Toastmaster Girija Deshpande.
Thank you, Azim, Toastmaster of the Day, for a wonderful job done. I take this opportunity to thank distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas for being here and for always supporting me. He is my mentor. I've not asked him, will you be my mentor? But I've just accepted him. I look up to him. I see the way he presents himself. I'm inspired by this spirit of service that he has, the willingness to help, and the thoroughness and eye for detail that he has got. He never looks at any work as small or big. So if in a meeting there is no timer, he will double up as a timer. If there is no R counter, he'll take up the role of R counter. Each time I make an agenda and I send to him, he will look at every small detail and correct me. Okay, this timing you've got to correct. This is the total time of the session which you have missed. Each time there will be something to point out. So he's an everlasting dictionary, and I'm learning from it all the time. And today he presented such a beautiful education session. Somebody who is a distinguished Toastmaster to come down to the level of, students who are with children between the age of 9 to 18, and to make it simple, palatable, and at the same time not using the nutritive value, the most important value of the content. That is something that we've got to learn from him. He did it so beautifully. Amazing it was. He related to the content. The examples were superb. The visual content, amazing. And the question and answer session again. Whatever he could not include during the education session, he remembered to do it during the question and answer session, and saw that he rounded up the whole message. And then the practice session. That was the cherry on the ice cream. Cherry on the cake, rather. I would say that each of the evaluators got very good, precise, specific, concise feedback. If instead of saying this, you could say this. Instead of saying it like this, you could present it like this. Amazing. So it is like somebody hand-holding you. When you prepare a recipe, you read it from a book and do it. But when then somebody is standing next to you and seeing the small nuske, the small household tips that you do, instead of doing this first, you do that first. When you're grinding a masala, okay, allow the til to cool, allow the sesame seeds to cool, otherwise they'll fall lumps. Nobody tells you that in a recipe. But this is what you get from distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. And you all got it, and I'm very happy about it. They say evaluation is very important, and I insisted that all of you attended, because evaluation, they say, is the breakfast of champions. Now, who can have a heavy breakfast? Not those who lead a sedentary lifestyle. Those who are ready for exercise, those who are going to have a very busy lifestyle, those who are in for challenges of the day, those who want to be leaders, those whose brain is constantly working, they'll have a very sumptuous, good breakfast. They need it. And Toastmasters is preparing leaders, and we all need it. Why is evaluation the breakfast of champions? Because it is something heavy. It has got appreciation, lot of appreciation, loads of appreciation, which can just sway you and make you feel, oh, I'm on top of the cloud. And at the same time, it has also got certain areas of improvement which can make you feel go down in the dumps. So people who are champions, people who are leaders, they know to take appreciation in their stride and criticism also in their stride. So they do not get elevated and feel that they are floating in the skies when they get appreciation, nor do they feel totally, downsized because they listen to some areas of course correction. They understand that life is all about progress, and life is all about stepping one step ahead each day. You can't reach the end of the mile by one day, but every day you've got to step forward. And some days you may take 10 steps, some days you may take 8 steps, but you have to put your step forward to go there. And that is what the energy that you derive from that breakfast. So that is why evaluation is the breakfast of champions. And evaluation is something that teaches two very important things that we need in life. One is you can't go much well prepared for an evaluation. You know the technique. But what the speaker is going to speak, you do not know. You are taken in by surprise. So you are presenting things extempore. So extempore speech, speaking off the cuff, you learn through evaluation. Second is, evaluation is what we do all our life. Brother, sister, mother, brother, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, friend, nobody will leave. Everybody, actually, whatever they do in our life, oh, this is right. This, they could have done it like this. Even if somebody gives a gift, you are thankful for the gift, but then you think, I have the same color. Probably if the person had checked with me, I'm very close, I could have probably chosen a different color. I don't mind whatever the... So evaluation is something we do all our life. how compassionate we are, how complete we are, how specific we are. That is what is going to help the person. So whenever, even in our personal life, say for example, there is this Ram Janmabhoomi is happening, and so I sent a recorded music to my sister, and my sister came back with the feedback. She said, oh, your voice is not just like the same earlier before. It used to be so strong. Now I feel it's mild. I said, yes, because I'm not practicing so much. So I got the feedback. So I know it comes from love. It comes from a feeling that I want to improve. And that is the same thing that happens in Toastmasters. And that is the same thing that we need to inculcate in life, even when you become a professional, when you begin to work in an office, when we give feedback to our employees, when we give evaluation to our employees. It becomes essential that we give them that feeling that we are with them and we want them to go ahead. And that is what Toastmasters teaches us. And today we got it all encapsulated so beautifully. Thank you so much. I have no words to thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. That is amazing experience listening to you. And I'm just sharing the certificates today, and I will just launch a quick poll also for the role players and the evaluators, if you don't mind. Shall I do that? I'll just launch the poll. So the best meeting role player, because we had only one, we did not have general evaluator or we did not have table topic master. All the role players I combined. So there is a poll. I request everybody to choose the best role player. I'm sure that you all can see it, right? Best meeting role player. You have the Gavel Master of the Day, Azim Hakim. Then Zoom Master, Ramanika Mathur. Sergeant at Arms, Shrey Joshi. And Timer, Kavya Singh. So please cast your votes. Everybody did their role very good. So you can see how the timer cards changed, how the people on the screen changed. All that happened because of people who worked behind doors whose face you didn't see. So everybody did their role very well. Amazing. Yes, all the people have voted. So I'm just ending the poll and I'm sharing the results. Congratulations to each one of you. What people see is what they vote for. I encourage everybody to take up different roles, and I'm sure that all of you will do very well. Congratulations, Gavel Master of the Day, Azim Hakim. Very young, his mom was asking, he's just 9-year-old. Do you think he will be able to do it? I said, yes. Just ask him to come ahead one step, and we are 9 steps with him. That's it. Right? I always remember this.
Thank you.
We always see this, that I have seen this quote that you ask God, God, I see only one footstep. I see 2 steps, 2 footsteps, 2 pair of footsteps along this way. And suddenly I see only 1 footsteps. Why is it? Then God said, because the rest of it is all mine. I carried you in my arms. So if all of us can be that to somebody and provide that support, I think that is great in life. I have got that support from innumerable people, and I think God has come through them. And the next is best speech evaluator. We have got only 2 today. So the second one you can skip. First or the third. You got to vote among the first or the third. "11 out of 12 people have voted. I can't vote. So I'm ending the poll here. Congratulations, Aditya. And congratulations, Shrishti, for attempting it. Now I'm sure that our club members can take up evaluator roles, and we will be doing that without asking for outside help. It is not wrong to ask for outside help. In fact, we should get always out people from other clubs so that we get fresh water pouring in and we see different things. I would just like to share the certificates. Let me share the screen. So here it is. certificate of appreciation presented with gratitude at the online meeting of Eloquent Elites Gavel Club for graciously guiding us as a resource person to Distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas for conducting an education session on speech evaluation presented by Aditya Varlekar, presiding officer. Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Renosh. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the opportunity for being part of this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, for the certificate of recognition goes to the other two. The certificate of, yes. So this is the person who has got the best meeting role player today as Gavel Master of the Day to Gavelier Azim Hakim. Congratulations, Azim. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
And now we've got speech evaluator Aditya Swarup Das. Congratulations to you. So, thank you very much. As we had a wonderful learning session, and with your permission, I will adjourn the meeting, and then we can all stay back for 1 or 2 minutes of interaction. Thank you so much. I will stop the recording right now.